It deals with the largest mistake this country ever made from the constitutional standpoint, which occurred in 1913. And that is with the passage of the 16th Amendment. And the follow-up to that, the passage, amen. Somebody is here that's so good their amen already. But it's the passage of the first Income Tax Act. Ladies and gentlemen, the people want the federal income tax ended. And if I'm going to the United States, let me tell you something. Anybody see President Trump's interview with Joe Rogan? Senator, if you haven't had a chance, you're all busy. I want you to think, if you haven't had a chance, even if you have to do it now, go back. It's 3 hours. Break it up in 30-second intervals if you have to. But when you see that, I told you earlier I would go to war for Donald Trump, but my respect for him after that interview shot even higher out of the stratosphere. Because he shows what an intellectual genius he is. He runs from talking about engineering, saying we got to build small reactors like the French with 90 rhubarb concrete. I didn't know what that was, 90 rhubarb concrete. Then he goes into history of the Civil War, how that Robert E. Lee lived inside Lincoln's head. And then he goes and he talks about the McKinley administration. When we were making so much money off tariffs, they had to pull a group together to figure out how to spend the money. Think about this just for example, because we're taught innately to not like tariffs. We've been taught that coming up. But in the period from 1880 to 1913, when the United States had zero income tax and only tariffs, this country enjoyed the greatest industrial explosion ever. And it can happen again. And it will happen again. Somebody said, you can't take away the income tax. Watch us. Every great idea starts with advocacy and with courage. It's got to go. Can you imagine? I was in Cabarrus County. I said, hey, where is our textile industry? I was in Forsyth County. Where's our furniture industry? These Democrats under Clinton, they came up with this thing called NAFTA. And only Ross Perot, I'm all ears. Remember Ross Perot? Only Ross Perot was standing against it. They came up with this thing called most favored trade nation status. They got that right for China. And the World Trade Organization. They basically turned over a trading card advantage to what has now become our largest international competitor, both on a military and economic standpoint. That's got to change. But if you can eliminate the corporate income tax, every one of these companies that has gone out of the country, they'll come flying back in so fast that it will make your head spin. We have to stand up for the elimination of the internal and